Today, we're diving deep into something that's going to transform how you think about your construction business, especially in 2025. After analyzing hundreds of contractor financials and working directly with businesses ranging from 500,000 to 10 million in annual revenue, I have discovered the exact blueprint that separates the top 1% from everyone else. Most contractors are building themselves a job, trading time for money until they burn out. But the most successful builders, they are playing a completely different game. Let me show you exactly how they do it with real numbers and examples you can implement starting today. Secret number 1, the buyback formula. If you don't know yet, your biggest asset isn't your truck, your tools, or even your reputation. It's your time. The most successful contractors I work with understand this at their core. Let me share a story about Mike, a concrete contractor I worked with last year. He was making $200,000 annually, but working 70 hours a week. Sounds familiar, right? When we sat down and calculated his effective hourly rate, it came about to $55 an hour. Not bad, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Mike was spending 15 hours weekly on bookkeeping and invoicing, another 10 hours on project scheduling, and about 8 hours on equipment maintenance. That is 33 hours of tasks that someone else could handle for about $25 to $40 per hour. And here's the magic. Mike used those freed up hours to bid on new projects and strengthen client relationships. So within 4 months, his revenue jumped up 40%. Most time, the real breakthrough comes once contractors realize that they can apply the same principles to their job site. Identify your highest value activities like client meetings, project estimation, maybe crew leadership, and systematically delegate everything else. You can even go as far as hiring general contractors or labor to specifically handle tasks that eat up your valuable time. That's the buyback formula for you. Secret number 2, the strategic growth blueprint. Now, let's talk about something that transformed my most successful clients. Strategic growth planning. Not the vague, I want to grow kind, but a precise, measurable blueprint that keeps you focused and accountable. Imagine you are a commercial contractor who can go from 800,000 to 3.5 million in revenue in just 18 months. How would that transform your business and your life? The secret isn't working harder, it's having a clear, actionable plan and sticking to it religiously. Here's how you can do it. First, you gotta break down your growth into specific quarterly targets. So instead of saying, I want more commercial projects, set exact numbers like 2 new commercial contracts worth $250,000 per quarter with a 15% minimum profit margin. Then identify exactly which types of projects would get you there. An example could be medical office renovations and small warehouse builds. But here's where most contractors go wrong. They stop at setting goals. So you gotta take a step further to action. Implement a growth defense system where you can set a specific schedule where you would review monthly numbers and adjust your strategy from there. If you are not on track to hit your quarterly target, you could immediately implement pre-planned corrective actions like increasing your marketing budget, or maybe reaching out to your network, or adjusting your bidding strategy. The real game changer is the monthly accountability system. Set up 3 metrics: bid to win ratio, profit per project, and team productivity rate. Every month, review these numbers with your core team. If any metric dropped below the target, have a specific action plan ready to go. For example, when your bid to win ratio drops below 30%, you would need to review your pricing strategy or get extra training in sales so you know exactly how to calculate the value that you bring to your clients. So why does all this kind of planning work? Because it's more than just creating a plan. When a distraction comes along that isn't aligned with the strategy that you create, you would pass it up. Why? Because it would potentially pull resources away from the core growth strategy that you have created. And most importantly, this is all about building a sustainable growth engine. When you make sure that every new project feeds into your expertise, each bid becomes more competitive and profitable. You can also apply the same principle differently. Let's say you focus on government contracts and your growth strategy revolves around building past performance. Every project you take on must either strengthen your past performance record or provide strategic past performance for future contracts. You map out your bidding strategy 12 months in advance, targeting specific contract types that will position you for larger opportunities. The key to making this work is what I call a non-negotiable review, also known as the stick-to-it review. Every major decision gets filtered through 3 questions. Does this align with your 12-month growth target? Will this strengthen your core competencies? Does this move you closer to your ideal project profile? If the answer to any of these is a no, it's an automatic pass, no matter how tempting the opportunity might seem. This level of discipline is what separates the contractors who experience consistent growth from those who bounce from project to project without really building real momentum. momentum. Remember, a plan is only as good as your commitment to it. The most successful contractors I work with treat their growth strategy like a contract with themselves. It is non-negotiable, it is measurable, and it is reviewed regularly. They understand that saying no to off-strategy opportunities is just as important as saying yes to the right ones. Secret number 2, the asset multiplication strategy. The top performance in construction understands something very important. Every dollar should work multiple jobs. Let me explain that. I mean, instead of buying equipment for their own projects, they purchase assets that can generate income in multiple ways. Here's one way to apply this. Say you are a general contractor and you need a new skid steer for your business. But instead of just buying one, you purchase 2 and create a small equipment rental business on the side. When your crew isn't using the machines, they're being rented to other contractors. The equipment essentially pays for itself and generates additional profit. And here's a different approach. You can use your construction expertise to buy distressed commercial properties. During slow seasons, your crew renovates these buildings. Instead of just sitting idle, you are potentially building a real estate portfolio worth over several millions in just 5 years, all while running your main construction business. Now, for this to be successful, you have to start small. I've seen contractors purchase a rundown storage facility for about $150K and then use their crews downtown to renovate it, and within 6 months have it generate $3,000 monthly in passive income. It's all about being smart and knowing how to invest your money. You definitely got to be careful. I'm not an investment expert, but I do know how to make money work for my clients by looking at numbers and creating different strategies. Secret number 4 is the strategic buffer system. Here's what kills most contractors. They run too close to the edge. They win a big contract, hire more people, buy new equipment, and then when payments are delayed or work slows down, they're in trouble. The pros operate differently. They maintain what I call a strategic buffer system. This isn't just about having 6 months of expenses saved, though that's part of it. It's about creating multiple layers of financial security. The first layer is your operating buffer, enough to cover 3 months of payroll and expenses. For a mid-sized contractor, that's typically around $120,000. The second layer is your opportunity fund. This is money set aside specifically for taking advantage of unexpected opportunities, like buying equipment at auction or taking on larger projects that require more upfront costs. The third layer is your personal emergency fund, completely separate from the business. Secret number 5, the wealth building roadmap. The most successful contractors treat their personal finances with the same seriousness as their business. They have a clear roadmap for building long-term wealth. This isn't about just getting rich quick. It's about creating sustainable generational wealth. Let me share what this looks like in practice. Every quarter, you should be reviewing your personal and business finances together. Are your investments aligned with your goals? Are you diversified enough? Are you taking advantage of all available tax strategies? The contractors who build real wealth, they typically have 3 to 5 different income streams by about year 5. Their construction business is usually the biggest, but they've also got rental income, equipment leasing, and often a stake in complementary business like material supply or property development. I worked with a contractor who started with a simple residential construction business. Within 3 years, he had added a tool rental service, a small real estate portfolio, and a stake in a local lumber yard. Each business supports the others, creating a network of income streams that kind of work together. These 5 secrets might seem simple, but they are transformative when implemented correctly. The key is to start with one and master it before moving to the next. Remember, the goal isn't just to make more money. It's to build real, lasting wealth that works for you. Hit that like button if you found this valuable.